If you want to multiply a number by 10, the easiest thing to do is to jump the decimal. But you have to remember that when you are jumping the decimal, what you're actually doing is moving the number forward. Okay, so that the 6 has gone to 60, the 0.2 has gone to 2. So every time we multiply by 10, the number is moving forward by 10. Okay, so you can see the decimal place is staying still, but the number is moving forward. Now, basically, it's too difficult to do that on the paper all the time, so the sort of easy thing to do actually is to jump the decimal, but you're pushing the number forward by jumping the decimal point back. So if I want to move this number forward by 10, I just jump the decimal here, and it arrives here and leaves here. If I want to multiply by 100, I just jump the decimal twice back, and therefore moving the number forward. Okay, and here timesing by 1,000, 1, 2, 3, the decimal point leaves here, okay, and arrives here. Now, don't be tempted to leave the decimal place there. You can't have a decimal place in two places. Okay, so remember, when you rewrite your number, make it nice and clear where the new decimal place is. In order to divide a number by 10, you can do exactly the opposite. So push a number backwards, okay, by jumping the decimal point forwards. So when you are dividing by 10, what's actually happening is the decimal place is staying still and the number is moving backwards. Here you can see that 6 has gone to 0.6 and 0.6 goes to 0.06 and so forth. So in reality, what's happening is that the number's going back and the decimal place is staying still. But just as before, that's quite awkward to do on the page. So instead, we jump the decimal point forwards. So if I want to divide this number by 10, it jumps forward, okay, and arrives here and leaves here. Okay, it must leave here. You don't want a decimal place in two places. If I want to divide this by 100, you divide by 10 twice, and the decimal point arrives here and leaves here. And one more time. And we have to introduce a 0 in order to maintain the place value. But don't forget, what I've done there is bad because I've got two decimal places. I need to remove the original, okay, and write the number neatly. Okay, so that's a nice easy way to multiply and divide by 10.